Yes, welcome back to AFTV. Join us for the preview of Brentford versus Arsenal 8 p.m. kickoff this Thursday. From title talks to honey traps, Thursday sets the scene. The Bees defend their postcode while the Gunners hunt the league. Nice. That's it, short and sweet.
I like the little honey. I like the reference to honey.
Honey trap and that, the Bees. We got Billy the Bee from us.
It's one of your better ones, actually.
Thank you very much. We're joined by it's a rival fan, but it's not a rival. I've got a lot of time, a lot of respect for Billy. He's been following the club.
Friendly rivorry.
Friendly rivalries.
Not so friendly rivalry.
Yeah, I mean...
Not this time.
Yeah, maybe not this time, but...
Sounds scared.
Of the past, there's actually been, bar when they first came up into the Premier League, and apart from that game, ever since then, it's been quite nice for us. We'll get into talks around that later down the line, but make sure you check out his podcast, Be Sotted. Very good name, very smart, very clever. I like that. And we actually have the honour of having Billy with us because he's going to give us all the insight around Brentford. Of course, I've got Laurie Lyle with me as well to give us the Arsenal side. We're going to break down this. Every game is a big game. We know this going into the back end of the season. There's still a few months till hopefully Arsenal lifting silverware, but it's a big game nonetheless because obviously we saw yesterday Liverpool let us down, but some would say stop relying on other people. Just get the job done ourselves.
I've seen a lot of Arsenal fans melting down about that. Chill out, man. Listen, regardless of whether Liverpool won, lost or draw, we have to beat Brentford. Simple as that. So our situation doesn't change. Yes, the points situation may change a little bit, but at the same time, we have to beat Brentford.
Yeah. Well, let's go into it. Arsenal sitting top of the league. Brentford sitting 7th. Billy reminded me before the VAR decision, that ridiculous one in the Liverpool-Man City game. They're actually 6th. But Billy, you must be buzzing with the fact that where Brentford are, how they've done this season, and the full context of it. I may miss out some people here, so forgive me. No Bremo, obviously going to United. The Whistler's went to Newcastle. There's no Thomas Frank's gone to. Wow! Oh my God, he's gone to Tottenham, and you must now. Wow! That must be a bit of an interesting dynamic as well. Now that they're near relegation battle. Obviously, he took his backroom staff, I believe, as well. Norgard came to Arsenal, and that's your captain. So,
Flecken, the goalkeeper as well, went to Germany.
I didn't know. See, this is what I like having Billy here as well. So Flecken's gone as well. All of that to now be sitting 7th. I mean, where are you at right now as a fan and what you've made of your season so far for Brentford?
First of all, I want to say thank you for having me on yet again. You know what I'm saying? Always enjoy coming on here and talking football, as it is with you and the Arsenal fans out there. And as you know, listen, I just enjoy going to football. Yeah. I enjoy meeting people, watching the game. I've been going for, since we were in the 4th division, as we call it, you know what I'm saying? So. For me to be here, obviously I'm very, very happy because we're still in the Premier League. Yeah. The first time I came on your show, when you came down the stadium, and you're sitting there and realistically you're thinking, if we can fix 17th place, I'll be very happy. You know what I'm saying? You're not really going to say them things, but in the back of your head, you're sort of thinking that, you know what I'm saying? And now we're here, 4 seasons? It's the 5th season down the line now. Wow. And Brentford are still here. So obviously, I'm delighted. Never take it for granted. And that's why when we go to football, we enjoy ourselves before the game. We enjoy ourselves after the game. Facts. And if it goes right during the game, then it's a bonus, And recently, it's been going right during the game as well. Very good. But I think also for us this season, what's made it a lot better is because of all the things that you talked about at the start of the season. Because I have to admit, even my rose, I'm not a rose-tinted glasses, but I'm a real glass half full person. Fair. You know what I'm saying? So I see things and I think, okay, this is how you could change this. This is a setback now, but let it be a learning curve, and then you see how you could take it forwards. Cool. But Thomas leaving was a kick in the balls for me. Yeah, no,
fair. He's a good well, everyone still says he's a good manager, but he's just not doing great at the moment.
And the thing is, this is not a Tottenham podcast, so I mean, I could talk for an hour. What I'm saying about Thomas and how he's being treated and all this kind of stuff, and how you need a good ecosystem and an infrastructure to go into to make it work right. And all
so is that why he's failing? I know we don't go too far on Tottenham, but is that why you think he's failing though at Tottenham? Because is it the ecosystem? Isn't the community of everyone behind him is not there at Tottenham? This was told to me 10 odd years ago, 13 years ago, Brentford, as a fan. Yeah. And you just sort of think, there you go, buy some players and everything's going to be all hunky-dory. And then somebody sat me down, I'm not going to say who, but somebody quite senior who basically has proven to be successful with our club, and said, "No, Bill, listen." And he pointed out a couple of clubs. I think he pointed out to me Bournemouth at the time, who were a championship club. Yeah. And I was going, Bournemouth, they've only got 10,000 fans, little stadium, how are they do? They said, they're a really well-run club. Wow. Blah, blah, this, that, the other. And everything they've done from the top to the bottom is really great. They talked about Brighton, really, really well-run club. And they said, if you've got a really good you sort out
behind the scenes, the people, get the right people. You set yourself the right type of ethos, the right type of way that you want to play your football and everything like that. And then if people leave, you just slot people in and out because they're going to be carrying on the same thing. You're not chopping and changing the whole time.
So it's DNA, the
seamless transition.
Yeah.
It's the DNA of clubs.
So it's difficult. So I think Thomas has gone in there and he thought that by taking half our backroom staff, he can actually put Brentford into there and all of a sudden it's going to run right. But I think that and he's a really lovely, he's been on our podcast and everything like that.
Oh, wow.
He's a lovely, and down the pub as well, not in the studio. He said they'd come down the train. He said, no, mate, come down the pub with us. That's where we record. He goes, all right then. And he's turned up down the pub 3 hours, got a beer, drinking, telling us everything. And I think
he's a gooner as well, so I don't mind. He's a silver member.
But he's gone down there and he's tried to do his thing.
Yeah.
But what happens is that if you've not got the fans and everything behind you, it makes it really, really difficult. Obviously, he's had problems with the injuries and stuff like that as well. But that, for me, we're sitting down there, and Brentford fans, when we played them, mate, we wanted to knock them off the park. We wanted to beat them 6 or 7-0. So it was very disappointing. The way we played against them, which is probably one of the worst games that we've played recently. Now coming into times, because you're going to talk about how Brentford are on fire at the moment now.
Yeah.
But the fact is, I actually want him to do well. But I don't think he'll do it within that environment because I think it needs to sort itself out. And you're going to love hearing this, but the clubs need to, the club needs to, you need to realise where you are at to know where you're going to.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? And you can't go from 0 to 60 in 3.2 seconds because there's very few cars that can do that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's true.
You know what I'm saying?
It's great. It's a great point. I think, like you just said, that you got to know where you are, especially to know where you're going. I think that's a lot of fans. I speak to a lot of fans at certain clubs. Tottenham, actually, funny enough, I say like they still think they are. Well, they are a Big Six club traditionally, but it's like you got to realise where you are though right now to then and come to terms with that, to then look forward and listen. Like you said, it's not.
Yeah, I think one thing I would say on that is obviously I agree with everything you say. When you go to a club like Tottenham, though, the level of scrutiny and the level of expectation is a lot bigger, and fans want it now. You know what I mean? They're not prepared to wait.
And I understand that. However, sometimes you have to realise that you can't have it now. Doesn't matter if you've paid more money for your season ticket, you've got a big stadium with karaoke lights and everything like that happening. That's not the point, you know what I'm saying? I'm going to say this, and if the fans, you look back to the very first interview I did with you, with Turkish, right?
Yep.
Came down at Brentford, very first interview, and he sat down there and he started talking about Arteta, and he was going, yeah, I'm not sure, man, I need to go because we haven't really had a success yet. And I'm like, mate, He's been in about 3 minutes.
Yeah,
right? You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? I said, and then I started to talk about Brentford. And he goes, yeah, it's not the same with Brentford and it's Arsenal. I said, it doesn't really matter. The concept is the same. I said, trust me, if your club is built on the right bricks, which I felt it was, you got the right way. And the fact is that the clubs back it. They brought somebody in because I really hate when people, you remember when you're trying to get a job?
Yeah.
You're going out trying to get a job. You know that you're good.
Yeah, of course.
But you're going through the door, right, and somebody goes, nah, mate, I ain't going to give you that job now. You know what I'm saying? But you're thinking, I know I'm good enough.
For this job, yeah.
It really, really bugged you. But then all of a sudden you went in somewhere and somebody said, I believe in you.
Yeah, just give you
and I tell you something, I know you've got no experience, but I'm going to take you through this journey, and I ain't going to sack you after 3 days if you don't do it right, because I'm going to take you through that journey. And then you built it. Before you know it, you become the don, and you become the big person. And it takes you 3 or 4 years to get there. That's kind of, for me, how football should operate.
Fair.
The big boss should come in and say, I think you're good.
Yeah, I believe in you.
I'm going to back you. And yeah, we might go through a little rocky ship and everything like that, but at the end of the day, we're working in the right direction. And that's what Arsenal did with Arteta, because there was enough times that they could have sacked him.
Yeah.
Because there were people calling for his name after year one, and we haven't won, and look at, is that? No, but they've stuck with him. And this season, okay, I know it's a little bit rocky at the moment now because I don't want to jinx it for you.
Yeah.
But technically, you should do it this year because you have been going like that.
Yeah. Do you know what's funny? And just off the back of that, what you just said there, and I'll get your thoughts on who you want to win the league in a second. But because I was like to hear from other fans what they see it as, and they care about the fan base and all that. But I'll be interested to hear who you want to see win the league. But before that, what you mentioned about the club backed Arteta and gave him the extra time, I actually see him do that with players at Arsenal now. So I see things like when Kai Havertz came and he wasn't really firing at the beginning, and he's like, no, I'm going to back you and keep you. We're going to find it, make it work. Made it work for him. Odegaard as well was good, but now, I mean, he's gone a bit dip now, but he really backed Martin Odegaard to be the captain and put a load of faith in him. So there's been many, even Victor Gyökeres, the whole beginning, like he was starting. playing and playing and playing. Even though fans and people and rival fans saying he looks like he's playing with Timberlands, and he's a bodybuilder and he's a weightlifter and he should be on the construction site. Arteta was like, nope, not listening to any of the noise. I want to keep backing. And you're starting to see, no matter, even if we go for your purple patch, we'll get through it and come out the other side. And even still, that's worked because it's worked for him in his career and it's worked for a lot of the Arsenal players. Circling back, what have you made of Arsenal? You kind of mentioned it there in your speech then about, backing him, sticking with Arteta and where it's got you. What have you made of us this season? Do you want us to win the league? Do you think we will go on and win the league or not? I want to get from an outside perspective.
Okay, so the first thing I want to say, and you're going to hate me for saying this, is that the league is there for you to lose this season, right? And that's a bad jinxing point, you know what I'm saying? Because that's the truth.
Yeah, fair.
Arsenal, you sit down there and you look at Arsenal, you think, actually, tell you something, they're a good side, right? Undoubtedly, they've strengthened depth, they've strengthened. So, I was looking at them the other day, and I'm looking, they got Eze on the bench, right? And that, each start for us, not every week, every day. You know what I'm saying?
I like that.
You know what I'm saying? We'd have him down. I'm looking at what else that you've got going on in your side. I'm just thinking, listen, this team is because. The difference between, there's a lot of difference between, your side and our side, bigger stadium, you've got more money to, your bench could be, you could have £80 million player on the bench, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We might have a B team player or, a player that costs us £5,000 a bottom on the bench. We're not moaning, it's just the way that it runs, But that makes a difference because all of a sudden we get an injury, right? And all of a sudden we're putting somebody else in, and unless that player has all of a sudden accelerated to get themselves to being the level of the player that is in your first team, we have to adapt. And we've been quite good at adapting. So we've been quite good at bringing players in who, all right, you're not a centre back or you're not a left back, but we'll bring you in because we've taught players to play in different positions. Whereas you'll bring a left back in who costs £70 million, put him straight in there, and all of a sudden you'd say, oh my God, we've got injuries. But it's like, that ain't really an injury to me because you just bought in a £70 million player. It's completely different. And that's why you get more consistency as such throughout the season. Whereas we're going to probably talk a bit later about how Brentford are on fire. Yeah. But we're like this. Then earlier, 2 months ago, we were like that. You know what I'm saying? And we've been like that. And we teams will be like that, like us, because it's difficult to us to get that consistency all the time because as soon as we might have a few injuries or players out or, players mentally, there's so many things that makes you play not at that level. You know what I'm saying? You're going to talk about the Newcastle game.
Yeah, let's go.
There's a reason why there's one reason why we played at that level against Newcastle.
Why? St James Park, that was a big result in my opinion. It was quality. A 3-2 win.
Snake Wisa, right? The snake... Johan Wisa, right? I'm telling you, right? Everybody.
So it's fueled. It's got emotion in it. Because I feel like I see the best of Arsenal. There's an angry side when Haaland threw the ball at Gabriel, and there's a bite, and there's a revenge. Is that the reason? So because Wisa's at Newcastle.
Tell you something. It's not just because he was there, because he absolutely disrespected our football club. Johan Wisa, right? Last season.
Did I miss this?
Right. Go on. Did you miss? How could you miss that?
How could you miss that?
You didn't go trick.
Remember, he basically went on strike and said he's not playing for them. Then he said that there was promises that weren't kept.
So this is the thing. That was nonsense, right? Okay, I'm not telling you straight. That's nonsense.
No, I believe you.
Right? Johan Wisa, brilliant last season. Came to Brentford, really great. He was a bit part player. I remember Arsenal played at Brentford. One of my very good friends, Pricey, giving him a shout out as well, Pricey, as well. One of my DJ partners that I play with, as well. So and played on my birthday do as well a couple of months ago. Pricey, right? He stood there and Wisa came on and he's like going, man, that Wisa, he's a bit of a kind of, came off the bench. He's a bit of a kind of impact player. He's all right, but I don't rate him. And then last year, he messaged me, he's going, I can't believe what you've done with Wisa, because I've got to admit, I'm standing beside you at Brentford, watching the game, and I thought he's a bit part player, and now he's going in knocking goals left, right and centre. So, of course, as Brentford fans, we've seen the rise and how great he is. Yeah. Brentford, the way that they operate, okay, they've got a plan, you know what I'm saying? So they look at these players and they go, right, when you get to this level, you're gone, and we're going to get somebody else in, we'll get 70 million for you, and then we'll buy someone for 30 million. That's how we operate, you know what I'm saying? So Brian Mbeumo, we all knew he was leaving. Yeah, we knew for like 18 months that he was going to go, right? So he's going to go. So no one was crying or anything like that. They're going, bye Brian, good luck to you, because the Brentford fans are like that. Tip a hat to you, we hope you do really well, just like we did with Raya. I came on there and told you about
fair.
Raya. I said, tip your hat to him, brilliant goalkeeper, blah. That's just how we
Yeah,
operate.
you understand that you're a selling club,
Yeah.
essentially.
A selling club at times until you get to a situation where you get to a level and then you hold them off. So in the Championship, we sold. And then all of a sudden the club said, right, we're going to smash it this year. Went to Ollie Watkins, we've got loads of offers for you, but can you stay with us for another season? We're going to get promoted to the Premier League if you stay. If we don't get promoted, we'll sell you. We got to the playoff final.
that's
got to
how
the playoff
it should
final.
be.
We lost to the F word. I'm not even going to mention their name. And so after that, we sold him, and we sold him to Villa because we lost. But then we got in Ivan Toney, and then we went off. You know what I'm saying? So that's the story. So with Wissa, rumour we knew he was going, but Wissa, the plan was never to sell him. We never promised him anything because we know as a club, you're stupid. Why are you going to let go 14 goals in one season? You know what I'm saying? Just for some money, because the Premier League's worth 150 mil. So you don't do that. So the plan was to keep him on. Maybe the following year, because he was a certain age, we might have sold him off and something like that. But we didn't do. But because he saw Brian get his move, and apparently I'm going to say allegedly, but I think they might have changed his agent as well. And I think possibly, I'm not 100% sure that his brother might have been involved in that. I'm not 100% sure, but something had changed. And all of a sudden, he just went, I want to move. And Brentford said, well, you can't ever move because that's not the plan. We can't afford to let you go. And he just went into a next mode, stopped training, this, that, and the other, and everything like that. And you know, as a fan, how important it is, those values.
Of course.
When your players, and
you built them up.
You want them to play for your team. You know what I'm saying? Could you imagine if, are you going to looking back at one of your players and one of the players that you loved, and all of a sudden he just in effect turned on your club? And the fact is, people are saying all these stories, but it wasn't 100% wasn't true. So the club held out and said, "You're not going." But then it became so toxic within the club, and in the end we said, "I tell you what, you can go, but we're going to set a value for you, which is 40 million, right? Which is quite high, 40 million for him, and we've got to be sold at a time that we need to bring another striker in because we don't want to let you go. You're 20 goals.
Yeah.
We got messed around. In the end, Newcastle came at the last minute and said, "Okay, right, we want to buy him now." Brentford said, "Right, okay, we can't buy anyone else. 55 million." So we sold him last minute.
Oh, right, though.
55 million, and that was gone. But the fact is that fans are really not happy with that attitude. And so we went up there. Everyone went up there, and the songs were there and everything like that. But also, if you look at the players, if everyone looks back at Match of the Day, I think like Wissa came over, and I think we went to shake hands with one of the Brentford players, and he just blanked him and just walked off and everything like that.
Well, that's
the Brentford player blanked him.
He blanked him, because I think for them, they're thinking, you let us down. We've had to go into the season now unprepared. Our first game against Nottingham Forest, we were horrendous, right? Because we had no pre-season, because we had to spend our time trying to find a manager and trying to find this and trying to find somebody who's going to step in for Wissa, but we didn't quite have the players. You know what I'm saying? All this kind of stuff. It was
I must admit, I'm not going to lie. At the start of the season, when I saw what was happening at your club, and you lost a manager, you lost him,
everyone told them to go down.
I thought, you know what? If they stay up this season, especially because Keith Andrew, no disrespect, he was a set-piece coach. But all of a sudden, your manager, you know what I mean? That's a big responsibility. And I thought, But to be fair, place to him, man, he's done really well.
And you're not wrong. And in a way, you're not wrong because you don't know anything about him, right? I mean, I support the club, and I knew nothing about him. The only thing I knew about him is stuff on Sky, and I thought he talks really well.
I remember him when he was a player. He played for Ireland and all that as well.
Right.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? So, from a fan's perspective, that's all right. I think what was quite negative and what I didn't agree with, it's people saying to you, you're going to do this and you're going to go down and you're rubbish.
Yeah, a lot of people told you to go down.
And I'm thinking, but you don't know anything about him. If you knew something about him, like, if it was Pep and Pep come in, you would honestly, you'd get your book out and you'd be saying, well, no, I don't think of this, and too many passes, and you'd have all your text about him. But with Keith Andrews, you know
Black
nothing.
book, yeah.
So how can you make a decision about somebody that you don't know?
So it's a very good point. And Keith Andrews, I was going to give him a load of flowers but I think we kind of done it there. He was someone that still goes, in my opinion, under the radar. I don't really see. I know he speaks well, but he's not out there saying outlandish things. He's trying to dodge the whole, you're doing really well. He keeps it very just level, feet on the ground. Very good manager, and got a lot of your players doing really, really, really well. I know. Listen, I'm friends with Reece Nelson. I know when Frank was there, I think he liked the look of Brentford. When Frank was there, obviously he's come to Keith Andrews, he hasn't figured much, but from what I've heard from him as well, he said he's actually a very good manager. He knows how to get the best out of his players as well. Yeah. And I want to ask, from an outsider looking in, Billy, it just seems like you guys are a counter-attacking team, but there must be more to it than that. Because everyone I speak to says, boy, you better watch Brentford on the counter. And in the past, you've always been there with Mbeumo and whatnot. But is it more than that? Has Keith Andrews instilled secret weapons that we don't really see? Or is it that you're just relying on, come Thursday night, that you're going to catch us on the counter?
again, what's interesting, what Keith does is that Keith seems to change tactics according to team,
right?
As well,
that's interesting.
And change our formation according to team. You know what I'm saying? So we used to be we traditionally used to be a 4-3-3. You know what I'm saying? So traditionally 4-3-3. Then all of a sudden, we're playing Arsenal. We need to go 5 at the back. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? And put 5 at the back, bang, and hit them on the break. You know what I'm saying? This season. More recently, we've been trying to keep away from 5 at the back, but then we went 5 at the back a few games. It didn't go particularly well. Fulham was one, I think Tottenham was another one, where we went overly super cautious, you know what I'm saying? And fans got, again, everyone's like raving about Brentford, this, that, but there was a period where fans were getting the hump, properly getting the hump. And, we were sort of saying, look, we've got to look at where we're at. New manager, he's still learning his craft.
Yeah.
And he may make some mistakes. And I think he put his hand up without saying as much. I made a mistake against that. I made a mistake against Fulham, how I set them up. I made a mistake against Tottenham, how I set them up. Maybe I could have been a little bit more adventurous, you know what I'm saying? You do that. But in general, he's been playing around with how we play. And even recently, he's come out with a completely new formation because we lost Utara to the African Cup of Nations.
Yeah, that's true.
So, if you're playing with 2 wingers, who are bombing it down, and all of a sudden you pull one of them out, you haven't got 2. So all of a sudden you're thinking, well, we can't play like we got 2 wingers because you're going to have one that looks like he's running backwards through through a swamp. You know what I'm saying? So he's flipped it up. So so Keith is really clever. And also, I know that you said you're friends with Reece Nelson. Again, from our feedback, from what
hasn't
we've
really
heard,
worked out for him so far from what I've seen. I don't know because he hasn't really had much minutes. But
he hasn't. But again, with Brentford, you have to be patient. You know what I'm saying? They've kept him on. And at the end of the day, you get an opportunity, and when that opportunity comes, you take it. When he's come on, Reece Nelson, he's actually looked really good.
Yeah. And
also, he'll get an opportunity to get in the cups as well. True. So he's going to be playing. I saw him. I went up to Grimsby, which is everyone went to Grimsby, by the way. You know what I'm saying? It's one of them ones where people are like on the phones, and then Man City tickets come up. Everyone's like, Man City, Man United tickets come up. Grimsby, but everyone's like, like literally everybody went up there on a Tuesday night because it was old school. It was like oh my God, we haven't been there since the Great Escape back in 1995 or 2005 or whatever it is. And so it was a great game. We played a brilliant football. They put out a different side, inverted commas, second string side as such, but Reece Nelson played in that one with this other kid called Donovan, who came on for the last 10 minutes against Newcastle as well. And he may or may not come on against Arsenal. He came out of the Birmingham Academy. We got him in. Very, very exciting, but they're kid-gloving him. They're properly kid-gloving him, but he's one of those players where I believe if he goes in the right way, I don't want to say Bellingham, but he is one of those type of players who can go on that level.
Interesting. I mean, like Ethan obviously made his debut at 15 against these guys, and we know where Ethan Ranieri is now.
I remember that.
He's got school in the morning. He's currently on loan now. Lloyd, I'll come to you. Off the back of City not doing not losing to Liverpool, and Brentford coming up Thursday at their place, who are currently on form. Right.
Me and you went there before.
Yeah, we've been there a few times. And to be fair, I think we've seen a lot. I was going to ask, I think the last time we lost was actually maybe that promoted game. I don't know if it was that game. It must be that promoted game.
The first game of season.
Yeah.
That's the only time we lost in the Premier League.
Because that was...
we went there in the Carabao Cup, we beat you.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But every other game since then, I think we've won. But anyway, I want to ask you about City play Fulham Wednesday as well. So they could close the gap to 3 points if they win there. Are you worried for this Brentford game? Or are you...
Yeah, of course. I mean, listen, when a lot of Arsenal fans were getting triggered about the game yesterday, I was less triggered.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, I would have loved for Liverpool to have taken points off them. But my thing is, regardless of their result, we have to beat Brentford. And Brentford are a clear and present danger to us, let's be honest, man. I mean, we've spoken about it already. 7th, and Brentford have some serious threats.
Can they hurt us? Where can they hurt us?
Yes, they can. I mean, Thiago up top, man, he's a serious dude. You know what I mean?
Serious.
Doesn't look 24, by the way.
But who was the last player that didn't look 24 for Brentford? Tell me. Who was the last one?
Tony.
Boomer.
Yeah.
They all got like full, to be fair, don't look.
No, but listen, all jokes aside, Brentford have impressed me. Honestly, I'm not just saying that because you're here. But they have. I come across an interesting stat with Brentford as well the other day. So the way Keith Andrews got them playing, he's kind of evolved from what they did last year. Like they, I think I saw a stat where they got the least percentage in terms of possession in the Premier League, and they tend to bypass the middle of the park. They're into more longer balls rather than passing it around tippy-tappy stuff. So they're very direct. So they don't have a lot of possession, but when they do get the ball, they look to get forward straight away.
Yeah.
And they're happy to miss out the midfield and just go up top. And then you got, what's his name? Dango, Atara.
Yeah, Ouattara.
And Thiago, quick guys, direct.
Physical.
And Sharda's quick as well.
Yeah, exactly. So
when he hits form, he's great as well.
and they've got a system and they apply it well. And they've had some good results this season. They beat Liverpool, didn't you?
Yeah, we beat Liverpool,
Villa,
beat Man United.
You beat Man United.
Yeah.
You beat Newcastle.
I think even the game against us at home, I know we won it, but that was, I think that was a bit here nor there at a time. I know Shard hit the crossbar as well for header and stuff. So like, yeah, you're right there. They got things that can hurt us, definitely.
I think I saw the stat that I saw said you got the highest percentage of passes forward. So you don't, I know that sounds like a bit of a contradiction. So they don't enjoy a lot of possession. But when they do get the ball, they're more direct than most teams.
That's where the counter-attack.
Yeah, so they're quite happy to miss out
from the outside
midfield,
from,
but just boom.
But it's a different, okay, and the thing is that we don't necessarily play like that all the time because we can still play and we can still keep the ball. But what's happened is that because, there's that whole thing where people go, oh God, death by a million passes, you know what I'm saying? And you've seen that and I've seen that as well. And a lot of people say, this is great, for your team if you know how to pass and keep the ball. But when you're watching the game, sometimes it could be kind of like, oh my God, what's going on here?
Yeah.
It's like, So I think it's different with us where one time we think, oh yeah, great, play. I mean, when we were in the Championship, I think we were playing like 700 passes, 800 passes a game sometimes. But we realised when we came to the Premier League, we were playing against different type of players. We had to switch it up.
Got to be more efficient, yeah.
Frank was playing a particular type of football, and yes, we used to hear it to people like Tony, who could hold the ball up, pass it off, and Bumo, who would either be running onto the ball or he can run on people. And I'm saying different, but different players have come in. So Keith Andrews has realised maybe at the beginning where we had a few sticky matches and a few sticky periods as well. All of a sudden, they've changed it up a bit, and we brought Janelt as well recently as well, who's come in, who's
scored a great goal.
Great goal the other day. You know how much he cost us?
How much?
600,000 euros from Bochum in Germany, right? 600,000 euros, right? And he has been brilliant for us, Championship and coming into now. And you look at him, you think he's a bit of a utility player. I'm not sure if he should play or not. But all of a sudden, he's just gone ping recently, and he's stepped it up. And what he's done as well is that he has been progressing the ball really quickly. So the ball comes to him, and we've noticed like with Jordan Henderson. So Jordan Henderson, right, he could pick a pass.
Yeah.
So Jordan's just thinking, actually, tell you something, skilled at them players there. They know what I'm going to do. So he takes, before he knows it, ball's gone 60 yards and he's gone to a player, it's gone to, or it's gone to Thiago, takes it on his left, plays it down, plays somebody out to Atara. So it's almost like they know what they're doing and how to play it. And they're thinking, if I can get the ball forward and quickly and we've got speed, why am I passing it around the midfield 25, 30 times?
That's our frustration, sometimes Arsenal fan. Before you go, are you better this season or last season?
So you're indirectly asking me a question. Is Keith Andrews better than Thomas?
I'm here to ask questions.
That's what you're asking.
Do you think, as a fan, are you better this season or last season? Do you feel?
Really want to spot here.
Brother, I'm here to ask the questions. You know what I mean? It's been a good preview so far. There's a lot of information.
Listen. Brentford this season, if you look at it on paper, obviously we're doing better than last season.
Yep.
We got to Christmas time and we had got more wins than we'd ever got before. We had won a lot at home, but we hadn't won a lot away, so it showed that we had to kind of work out a formula maybe for playing away. But now we seem to have kind of sussed that to a certain extent. Newcastle, we've had a couple of wins away. Yeah. So I think at the moment now it looks like we are a more flexible side who kind of can get through over them humps, which we weren't getting over last season. So I say that, yes, at the moment we are a better team, but tell you what the best thing about it for me, though, is that Keith's still fairly green. He's got a lot to learn. Yeah. Our players, like you talk about Atara, you talk about even Sharda. Sharda's, hot and cold. Atara is hot and cold. Yeah. Thiago is hot and cold as well. Yeah, I'm telling you.
What's his weaknesses? Because I think he's an all-round... I think he's got every attribute solid.
Okay, and then again, this is not a disrespect because I'm sure they'll work on it and next season will be very different. But Brentford at the start of the season kept on doing like they do with Tony and playing these long balls to Thiago. Yeah. And then all of a sudden we're like going, he can't hit the ball. You know what I'm saying? Right. So his strengths wasn't heading the ball. His strength wasn't getting the ball and heading it. That wasn't his strengths at all. He's got very different strengths. You know what I'm saying? Okay. He's big, but he's very fast. He's very strong. He holds the ball up, controls the ball with his chest, plays it off. He's a very, very clever and passionate player. Yeah. So it took us probably about 2 months to start playing his game. And once we started playing his game, it was a different story altogether.
17 goals this season, second top goal scorer in the Premier League. I mean, yeah.
So Brentford have a habit of doing well with strikers. I mean, Ivan Toney was prolific. Then you had
Neil Malpo. We got Ollie Watkins.
Yeah, I was going to say Ollie Watkins.
Andre Gray. We started off with
Wissa. You had Mbomo. You know what I mean?
So these are the things that they do right. And listen, I'm a fan, so I love Brentford. I'm not going to say that we get everything right all the time. You know, we've been very good at getting strikers. So we've just got this new kid called Furo, or Furo, I think he is. Yeah. He's come from Bruges, the same place that Thiago come from.
Okay.
18 years old. Okay. And you know, like normally when you get an 18-year-old, or when we get an 18-year-old in who's been signed, we get them in and we're like, okay, that player's going to play for your B team. So he's been signed before. Okay, another B team player. Next minute, all of a sudden, you look at social media. There's like a video of him. Then we found out that he's an MC as well. So they were playing his music that was backing up his staff, and he did like a sort of little slightly MCing type kind of intro on social media. And we're thinking, mate, this is like as much as Henderson got. You know what I'm saying? When he signed for us. So we thought, you know, the word about it goes, oh right. Nah, he's like a first team player, so they've put him straight in the first team, but not first team like going into the place. They put him on the bench, didn't play him, but he's kind of like, right, we're putting you in the arena now. It's now for you to try and win your place. Now he's 18 years old. He'll probably not get a chance till he's 21 or 20. You know what I'm saying? But he's not gone into the second string. He's gone straight into the first string arena, which is really interesting. You know what I'm saying?
Interesting. Someone to look out for. Just then, closing questions. Are you better home or away? It must be.
We're much better away. We're much better home we're much better at home. We've only lost to Manchester City, and I think and Nottingham Forest. So we've lost 2 games at home.
Okay.
We've won all the rest of them, except for Man City, and we drew one. I can't remember.
Okay, that's interesting. That's good to know. I just damn. Okay, it just makes me worried a little bit more. And of course, we got to kind of close off with obviously score predictions. I would let the guests go first. I want to get Laurie's take because I just want to hear what he thinks because. I don't know, Billy, you've given us so much insight now, and I'm still. You're a good team. That's what, and they're on good form. So it's like Arsenal obviously chasing the title, but will the pressure be too much with City if City beat Fulham at home, which is probably likely that's going to happen?
No, I'd like to think of it in reverse. I'd like to think that Arsenal will thrive under the pressure of needing to beat Brentford. They know what Brentford are all about. So it's just like,
how do you think it's going to play?
I'm going to go for an Arsenal win, man. 2-0. I think the way Arsenal are playing at the moment, the way they're shutting teams down. I mean, I keep saying it on forums like this. We're not the most entertaining, we're not enthralling, but the one thing we are is very effective. And so I could see Gabriel and Saliba between them nullifying Thiago the way they've nullified a whole host of number 9s this season. And I think we got enough quality at the other end to get a couple of goals. And dare I say it, and I don't want to offend Billy.
I don't get offended.
No, but you know, we actually need this more than you. You know what I mean? Because
he might disagree. I don't know.
No, but if we're going to win the title, we have to win these.
100%.
Brentford are going to. Obviously, they're going to stay up. They might even. I hope they do get into Europe.
They might be chasing.
I hope they do.
We're safe. We're safe. In February, we're safe. That's unbelievable.
So that's great. Wow. So. In terms of our aspirations and Brentford's aspirations, we actually need this more. And like I said, that's no disrespect to Brentford. I know they're going to want to win, but we have to win. And I think that could be the difference. So I'm going Arsenal. Well, I'm going Brentford 0, Arsenal 2.
And I'll quickly just say I'm going 2-1 to Arsenal. I think we will concede. I think Igor Thiago has the capabilities. Obviously, scored so many goals, 17 in the league so far. So, listen, I love Saliba and Gabriel, but that sort of player, Ollie Watkins, normally causes some problems. I think Igor Thiago has that sort of ability as well in behind.
Yeah, and our guys will have to be on their game.
They have to be massively on their game. And
plus you got the threat from the long throws as well.
And also, just quickly, when you spoke about strikers, they thrive at Brentford. As a striker, ex-striker, they play the way I think every striker would love to be in a team. They play directly to they play for the striker.
Well, yeah, I spoke about that. They're quite happy to miss out midfield and get the ball forward quickly.
Exactly. Billy, you've been quiet there, thinking. Do you go heart, head? Do you agree with? Do you need it more?
No, listen. Okay, if you want to put it on paper, Arsenal, best team in the league, right? Best team in the league. You talked about the fact that it may not be the most entertaining team and all that lot, but the fact is that Arsenal are. The fact is that they talk about if you can grind out wins like when you're not playing well, then you know that you're going to do. And we've seen that in the lower leagues. You know what I'm saying? You go out there and we'd be a brilliant. So the team that the year that we didn't go up, I think we were probably one of the best teams. In that division that year. But we kept on losing points, you know what I'm saying? People caught us on the break and all this kind of stuff. And we ended up going up that season. The following season, we learned how to grind out the results. And I think for Arsenal, I've seen them growing now, where they are, where sometimes they're brilliant, then other times you see them, you know, was it Sunderland, you know, places like that, you know what I'm saying? So you go out there, you grind out your result, you come home thinking, flipping, no, we were lucky to get away with that.
Draw,
you know what I'm saying, which is good. So it's always going to be tough against Arsenal. I just want to quickly, because you talked about the long throws, because Robbie talked to me about our long throw when we, because Arsenal are known as the long throw team now, which kills me, because don't forget, remember when we played against you, right? And we had a guy called, like I said to you, Mads Beck Sorensen came on in the 80th minute. Right? Long throw, flicked it to who? Christian Norgard, right? Christian Norgard, bang, in the back of the net, scored the second goal. Right. So
I wouldn't mind seeing Norgard play. I've been very impressed with him, by the way.
He's a great
He's not played a lot of minutes, but every time
Quality
he's played well. He got, did he get an assist on Saturday? He was involved, wasn't he?
No.
With the last goal we scored. I think it was him that hooked it over.
He is a quality player.
So I'm just pointing out the fact that we were there before that, but it's just part of what we do to give us an advantage as well. And everyone goes about Coyote, who is a fan favourite at the moment now. Everyone loves him. Michael Coyote. He eats spaghetti, he drinks Moretti, he hates Queen's Park Rangers. It's a song, you know what I'm saying? But he's great because he's got this long throw in him as well. So everyone goes, oh, it's just a long throw motion. But also, if you look at him from right back, he's one of these most eccentric right backs you've ever seen, because he's one minute he'd be right back, next minute he'd be left wing. You know what I'm saying? And you think, how did he get over there? You know what I'm saying? And he does this wrong, which
You know what? I saw a stat about him the other day. That he's got at the moment anyway in the Premier League, he's the most successful dribbler from right back.
Yeah, I'm telling you.
So you're right.
There's all these things that people don't know. They see these top line stuff, but we've got all this other stuff going on. And it's important, because you're asking me about the result. It's important for me to put all of this in here to try and say to you, Brentford have got quite a lot of things under their locker. So we are a good side, but we're inconsistent. So 1 minute we can absolutely knock people off the park, but the other hand we'll do something like when we played Tottenham, which we were terrible. You know what I'm saying? And that's just kind of, we know that's where it's at. We've had 2 very good wins, which has probably taken a lot out of us. Away at Aston Villa and away at Newcastle. And then 4 days later we're going to come and do you. We're going to have to try and raise the bar again. The bonus about it is that it's a free hit for us. In a way, you know what I'm saying? It's like we're playing Arsenal, everyone expects them to win, they're going to come down to us, we just need to do what we need to do. For us, we need to make sure that we don't let you score, particularly in the first half. Because if we do, then I think that increases our chances within the second half of actually getting something out of the game. As soon as you get a goal, I think it's going to make it very, very hard for us. So I think, if you're piling the pressure on and we're not dealing with it, then the chances are going to go much more in your favour. So to answer your question in the long thing, I'll be very happy with a draw. Okay. A 1-1 draw, I think that'll be a good result for us. It won't be a good result for yourselves, you know what I'm saying? But I think you might look back at it at the end of the season and say, cool, I mean, that was a good result we got against Brentford, you know what I'm saying?
Interesting. So you've got a draw. So you've got a 1-1 draw. Laurie's gone 2-0. I've gone 2-1. They're not massively confident scorelines across the board. I want to know your thoughts in the comments below, what you think the score is going to be. And we've had a long and lengthy and in-depth preview here. So thank you again to Billy for coming down. Billy, make sure you check him out. Absolute legend, and has been across the channel many a times. They've got to give us all the insight. They're not just a counter-attacking team. There's other threats. That's what I wanted to find out what they were. He's given it to us today. And thank you to Laurie as well for joining us and giving us your insight as well.
And I'm going to say just quickly, you can also check us on prideofwest.London.
Nice.
Because we're the Pride of West London. You know
Fair.
Not Fulham and Chelsea and that QPR lot.
We'll make sure we get that in the description below. Make sure you check out Billy on that as well. And like I said, Besotted and Pride of West.London.
That's the one.
Check them out there. Thank you for watching this preview. We'll see you again soon. Take care. Peace.